Okay, as I'm rolling into this early house call, there was something that, an epiphany that I had over this last trip that I took that was going to the Gorge to watch Dave Matthews, a 3-day concert over Labor Day in Quincy, Washington, but scattered before and after that venue visit were house calls of varying degrees, follow-ups. There were also virtuals. There were follow-ups and then full evaluations. And as I was walking in to especially the full evaluations, we're going to break down everything and multiple hours of information exchanged. I looked at my hands and I laughed, and then there was such power in that the only thing I was carrying in was a notebook and a pen. And in 25 years of doing this, the beginning of my career, I used to walk in with these bags, these loaded up, almost military bags of all this equipment, goniometers, dynamometers, timers, tape, all this stuff. And then it transitioned to electrical stimulation devices, and then push-up equipment, and then hanging devices, and all these different things, whether it was injuries or whether you were going to break down a neurological concern for the person, or you were revamping everything, or showing them, training them head to toe, whatever it was going to be. And now I'm going into a full breakdown of their life, of their understanding of their symptoms of healing or their injuries or wherever they're at. And all I have is a notebook. And there's power in that, because the whole point of these house calls was kind of the old school style, where a practitioner would show up at your place, would show up wherever you're at in life. And there's something to that. Obviously it was a convenience, and it was a way for a practitioner to be very intimate with people and connect with people on another level. And I love that. But when I'm walking into a home, no matter what somebody's experiencing, no matter what they're going through, no matter how they feel, and that's really the only diagnostic tools. How do you feel? I don't feel good, or this doesn't look good, or I'm not able. Done. That's your diagnostic tool. That will always be your diagnostic tool. There will never be another label other than I just don't feel good, or I'm not able to do things that I would like, or this smells different, or this looks different, or I sense that something done. That's all you need to know. And then when I get in there, it's every inch of this house that you are going to use. It's every inch of your life. It's who you're living with. It's the dynamic that you have with them, what you're saying, not saying. It's your values, it's your purpose, it's your intentions, it's your beliefs. Not the beliefs you say, it's the beliefs you take action on. It's the things in the closets, metaphorically and actually legitimately. It's the things at your office space. It's the things in your car. It's the things in your cupboards. And so that's what we're going into to break down, because you already have everything you would ever need. There is nothing that I'm bringing that is a product that you lack. And that's not the case today. Today we are frightened into that there's something that hasn't been invented yet that we lack. And that's just not true. And that is, again, if you'd have caught me at year 2 in my progression, you'd have seen me equipped with all this, the story would have been different. Now you're 25, and it has gotten more simple but deeper, and that is advancing medicine. Advancing medicine isn't adding letters after a name, or adding more tests, or more markers, or more causes, and more things to avoid, and more things to add, and more things to be afraid of, and more. It has to be filtering out of that, because with understanding of this and wisdom of this, there's a shedding of all that you previously knew, and you're building upon. Another thing is, when we're in these homes, or even I'm in my home, the more creative you can be with your medicinal inputs or whatever tool you're going to use, the more it's going to affect your physiology, your cells. This goes with nourishment. This goes with people. I mean, even think somebody who's hiding alcohol, and they're going to drink 8 drinks, but hiding them and getting real creative with how they spread them out, versus just sitting down, admitting this is where I'm at, and I'm going to crush 24 drinks. Those 24 and those 8 are not even close to being compared. The 8 are going to affect that person more profoundly than the 24. Yes, even if the ingredients, that's why there's things that go beyond ingredients or a label. Or think about somebody that's sneaking around in relationships and has secret phones and this and this. That relationship is going to affect them way more than the one that's very transparent and exposed. On the other side of things, it's the things that you add. Those are medicine as well, but it's the things that you choose to do, or the things you habitually change, or the things you add into your routines. If the more creative you can be about them, the more they're going to affect your physiology. And so that carries out big time, because if I came with this apparatus and you just use the apparatus, there's no real creativity. You're just doing what you're told. And that's fine, because there's medicine in the medication. Even if we're medicating symptoms through certain things, or medicating to numb, or medicating to hide, or medicating so that we don't have to do anything, there's still medicine in that, because you're going to hit a point where you realize, holy shit, I've been medicating with this stuff. There's the medicine. Now you leave it and now you're done. You're a size 8 shoe and you were a size 7. That stuff no longer applies. So that was the big epiphany, and I wanted to convey that to you, because it's conveyed even in these visits that I walk in, and it's a deep, deep conversation, because people are like, so what do you do? We chat, we talk, we learn, we expose, point in a direction, and that's your starting point. And then after that, you're going to take action on it. And then guess what? Your body's totally different with these new actions, because you've never done it before. I even tell people who just reach out in an email, you know, they're feeling me out, they're not really sure, they're scared, they're nervous to really take all this on, or they just don't even understand what it's all about. And I flat out tell them, I'm like, listen, if we never work with each other moving forward, you are already changing right now, because you took action by sending this email. You've never sent an email like this. You've never spoken out like this. Not to me. I've never heard from you. So that action alone is creating some changes that are going to profoundly ripple through your life. So even if we don't work with each other, utilize you using that action of sending the email and asking for help, or sending the email and inquiring, or sending the email and be like, I don't really know if this is what it's all about. I'd love to just talk with you and see if what you're saying is true. Great. Action. It's action that is off of a new plan, a new step forward, because again, in healing, you are alone. Nobody's ever done this like you. Nobody knows your life as you. Nobody knows what it's like to be inside your skin. Nobody knows what it's like to have your mind with your body and your spirit and bring them all together. Nobody knows what it's like to come from where you came from. Nobody knows what that's like. You are alone in healing. But again, if you are to understand this, we're leaving all previous paths. The goal isn't to get you to feel how you were before reaching out. The fuck? That'd be putting you back on a path that brought you to this point now. Oh, no. We are on a totally different, we're not even on this planet. We're going into a whole nother solar system. You're taking steps into a forest that has never been blazed. There's no path. And I'm not the first one to say this. This has been rippled through ancestral, psychotherapeutic or wise sage, whatever. This is like super ingrained and super deep and super principled and super a very important concept is all you know is your next step. And then all you know after that is your next step. You don't see this because it's not destination based. You're not making these changes to heal. You're not making these changes to feel better. You're not making these changes to heal the injury or to prevent the injury. You're making these changes to experience the process of life, because that's what the symptoms were for. And that's what the injury is for, is increase ability with wisdom. And again, with nothing but what's in between your hands, in between your ears, behind your eyes, and sitting in every nook and cranny of your life. Boom.